Hey, guess what, everybody? It's our Halloween episode. Oh.
I wasn't emotionally prepared for that,
Well,
but I hope everyone's emotionally prepared for this wonderful Halloween episode featuring our good friend, Jory Griffis.
yes, it's a really good one. And we watch what year was it?
2005
2005.
remake, sort of Amityville Horror, starring Ryan Reynolds in a career-defining performance.
Career-defining, as in he would never do anything else like it in his career. But if you want to see, so this episode is just the beginning and the end, our discussion before and after. If you want to see, or I should say, do the watch along, hear the watch along. There's no video for this week. But if you want to watch the movie with us, you can go to patreon.com/late night. And there we're going to put up the full watch along section for any tier. You can sign up at $2, $5, $15, whatever it is. Sign up for the Patreon and you'll get the watch along.
Yeah, and within 7 days, you have been cursed and you will die.
That's right.
That's how the Patreon works. It's in the fine print.
Unless you get someone else to sign up for the Patreon at the $5 level or above.
In 7 days, you're getting a creepy phone call and you're done.
Yeah.
Also on the Patreon.
By the way, I just call them phone calls.
We're going long with this bumper.
That's
hey
fine.
folks, this is a long bumper because we're sitting here in person. Brian and I, give me a high five.
Boom.
Physically in person. Also on our Patreon are a bunch of other commentaries that we've done with Jory for The Sopranos, for Twin Peaks. I did one with Vernon for True Detective Episode 1. And we do weekly minisodes. We have video versions of all of the episodes. It's just chock full of goodness, folks.
It is. And there's something else you wanted to talk about, right?
We'll talk about it in the mid-roll. So there's a little cliffhanger for you. Ooh.
Love it. So spooky.
No, stop.
That was worse than my first impression. I was trying to do it again, like a Boris Karloff, but I don't know where that exactly went. Have I ever told you, I wrote a joke many years ago, probably 20 years ago. That may be the funniest thing I've ever written.
Well, you telling us 20 years later is how we know it's good.
Yeah. So I may have told you this before. So this is a joke I wrote. Man goes to the doctor. Guy goes, "Doc, you got to help me. I don't know what's going on. I keep flip-flopping. It's crazy. One day I'm a teepee. The next day I'm a wigwam. One day I'm a teepee. The next day I'm a wigwam. Teepee, wigwam, teepee, wigwam, teepee, wigwam. What's going on?" And the doctor says, "Mr. Johnson, I've told you, you have stage 4 pancreatic cancer."
Can we,
I need the joke censored and that heavy pause.
We're going to start with that.
Can we talk? Jory, I wish I could give you a physical high five for how hard we both let that land.
Really great. That was really great.
Brian, I really like that joke. It actually,
Thank you very much.
Earlier, I drew a very funny picture on my phone of Leighton's cat. Leighton's cat, maybe.
Wow. Fucking brutal.
Wearing a dunce cap.
Oh, I loved it. No, I saw that. I like that picture.
It did bring to mind my favorite Neil Hamburger joke.
Yeah.
Which is, why was iconic Doors singer Jim Morrison buried in a coffin that was 10 feet long?
Why?
To accommodate his dunce cap.
I don't know if this is my place to say this. Did I ever tell you about the Neil Hamburger joke that my friend and yours, JP, wrote for him? It was told once and then never again.
Oh, go on.
I feel like I shouldn't blow up his spot, but I really like this joke. Okay, do you guys know who Dave Mustaine is?
Almost entirely through jokes that you've made, Brian.
I used to watch so much Best Week Ever that I'm certain I do, but I can't connect the name to the band.
It's Metallica and then Megadeth.
Close. Yeah, Megadeth is the big one.
Piss.
Okay.
So here's the joke. Why did Dave Mustaine shove 3 frozen egg rolls up his butt?
Why?
Why?
He was trying to beat his personal best of 2.
You never break on a punchline like that. And I think
That brought me
that's
so
a
much joy to
testament.
hear. That was really
Yeah.
fun.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, I love that.
I think it's
I have to
so
ask you guys. I have to ask you something.
It's a J.P. Hassan original.
Am I peeking? Are my peas popping?
You're actually fine, unless you get loud sometimes. Then you're not.
Hold on, will you give us a little bit of your typing?
Unbelievable.
What kind of WPM do you got on that, Jory?
Oh,
Just
there was a
great.
typo in there.
Shit.
Other jokes like that. It's not a Neil Hamburger one, but it's one I like. Have I ever, or Rachel, has she ever told you the whale joke?
No.
What's the whale joke?
Here's a whale joke. I like this joke. 2 whales are swimming in the ocean. One goes up to the other and says, First whale says, "Go home, Frank. You're drunk."
That's a very good bit.
I like that.
The commitment
I like
made me
that
so
joke.
happy.
I'm really fond of that one. And that was one that I was really fond of when I was a kid. And the moment you started doing it, a cold pang of fear washed through me because of all the
no.
people on this planet. I know you were the one who is most likely to draw out the whale sounds bit for at least 10 minutes. And I became very, very frightened.
I was debating going longer. Yeah.
You could have, and it would have recursively become funny again via the
Oh, I know. I know how comedy works.
Sideshow Bob's razor.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good principle.
I like that. I like to call that the Jay Johnston special. It's almost as funny as January 6th.
Yeah. Now, for those of you who weren't privy to our previous conversation, Jory has not shut up about January 6th for the last 3 hours.
I am obsessed with January 6th.
Obsessed with it.
Pro or con, we won't say.
What's your favorite thing about January 6th?
I'm having a hard time formulating an answer because there's so many options.
Well, it just has big Capricorn energy, I think.
I mean, I don't need to check an astrology chart to tell you that there were a lot of planets in retrograde that day.
Mm-hmm. That's very true, Jory.
I was going to say the turd in Nancy Pelosi's drawer. Not that I agree with it from a political standpoint. I'm actually staunchly opposed to it.
You mean her Harvard diploma? It was a Harvard dig. Did she go to Harvard? I don't know.
I can't relate to any of this.
I'm going to check where she went to college.
It's a terrible thread. I only just now noticed that Jory's typing was a message into
Trinity
the Zencaster
College.
chat.
That's right.
And I think you did a very good job, and your typo simply added to the character of the message.
Oh, I didn't realize. I just saw that too.
Thanks.
So today, it is Leighton, as you like to say, spoopy season.
Shut.
And shut what? Please be specific.
Continue.
On EP.
Yeah. Jory, can you give us a real sassy shut the front door like in a movie?
I think that made me realize how totally out of gas I am because I almost just said a flat no.
Jory Griffis bit guillotine.
That's what the O in his name is for.
Yeah.
For you to put the head of the bit
fine.
in there and chop
Oh,
it
there
up.
is an O in my name.
Yeah. Griffiosi.
I think it's important to point out this is our latest night ever,
It's true. It's 9:49. Is that right? Yeah. 9:49 p.m.
which we mutually agreed to roll back from 10 p.m.
This all worked out great.
Yeah,
It
it's
really
perfect.
did.
I'm only mildly stoned and have some gas left in the tank. And we were really warming up the bit engines in the text thread on the way
Yep.
here.
We really
I
were.
know.
We had some good bits, which we'll read to you right now.
Very big smile on my face.
Here's the exciting thing. We're going to watch a movie, but I don't know what movie we're watching.
Indeed.
It's going to be revealed to me. The suggestion was 2000s horror. And I don't know if you guys stuck with that. I don't know if you went a different direction, but I'm anxious and eager to hear what we're going to be seeing this evening.
Leighton, do you know? Because I don't.
I want to guess. If you picked, I want to guess. Here's what I like about guessing.
Okay.
It's not fun for the listener. And
It's
it
not
goes
fun
on
for
forever.
me.
Yeah.
Well, it's because might be a surprise to you. I also haven't picked.
Oh, we get to decide.
It's down to two. And there's
Okay.
one that I'm leaning heavily towards, and it's the counterintuitive one.
Whoa.
Well, so do I get to pick or how are we going to do this?
Well, I'm thinking about I'm just going to steamroll both of you if you don't go with the one that I want to do. But, that's how
Well,
the
then
show
you
works.
just tell us. Which one do you want to do?
No,
Oh, okay.
let's introduce the show because this is the episode that comes out closest to Halloween. Hello, everyone. Happy Halloween.
It's Leighton Fright with Brian Wrecked.
And Skeleton Graves.
And Jory Griffis.
You know what? I knew you were going to do that, and it wasn't less funny despite knowing that. Yeah. If you spoonerize your name, you get gory right there.
Oh my God.
That was the thought process, Brian. See, because I
Gory
used,
Griffis.
there was a silent, ironic reversal of expectations going on.
My favorite.
Brian, do you think that Jory thinks he's better than us?
I think Jory knows he's better than us, but
you're right.
he's too
I
modest
am
to
just
admit
going to
it.
shut this down right now.
Yeah.
I'm garbage.
No, that's my line.
What was that Justin Timberlake movie, Alpha Dog?
You should know
That's what
you were
Jory
in it.
thinks he is. Yeah.
Wait,
that right?
what?
Alpha
I'm
Dog?
not privy to any of this.
Wasn't there a Justin Timberlake? Am I making this up? Justin Timberlake, Alpha. Hold
Are you
on.
talking about DreamWorks Trolls?
Nope. Boom. Alpha Dog, 2006. Justin
Oh, I
Timberlake.
so wished you were making that up because
Nope.
that would be a very funny thing to make up. And it's very sad that somebody made that up for money.
Well, this was before I think Alpha was like a thing like it is now, but apparently Justin Timberlake's
Before
character
you
in
were
that is
born.
Frankie Nuts Ballenbacher.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Who is this written by? Craig Mazin?
Oh, guess who it was written by?
God, who?
Nick Cassavetes.
Whoa.
What?
Written and directed by Nick Cassavetes.
That's bizarre. Least featured player in Face Off.
Was he really? I didn't remember that.
He plays Nick Cage's buddy in the weird prison where you wear magnetic shoes on your feet.
Oh, I remember that prison. Prison, yeah.
That prison that's like an entirely separate other sci-fi concept in this movie
Yes.
that's already about having your face surgically replaced.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Guys, I've never seen Face Off.
It's fun.
I believe it.
Pretty spoopy.
I like Face Off. It's fun. You know, it's both Cage and Travolta being their most themselves.
Mm-hmm. All right, do we want to clap to start the record or?
Can we do instead of a clap sync, like something Halloweeny?
Like a boo sync?
That's exactly what I was thinking, Leighton. A boo sync. So we're going to say, how about this? Now, don't do it until I explain it. We're going to say 3, 2, 1, and then I'll say boo on boo. Okay? 3, 2, 1, boo, and then we boo on boo.
All right.
Right.
I I actually think I'm not. I think I actually don't understand the premise. This isn't a bit.
Okay.
So it's 3, 2, 1, boo.
You say boo on boo.
That's right. So the countdown, normally we would do 3, 2, 1, clap, and we clap on the word clap. Now we're doing 3, 2, 1, boo, and we say the word boo on the word boo.
But is the word boo the prompt to say boo? So effectively we're saying 3, 2, 1, boo, boo.
No.
Or is it just... So there's an implied 0, at which point we're saying boo.
It's the same as the clap sync. Yes.
Am I wrong that, like, this is just so much busy work to try to create, like, a sense of Halloween festivities? Like, isn't it more fun not to do this at all?
It's more fun when people understand what you're fucking saying, to be frank.
I'm sorry, Brian.
It's fine.
If I'm being honest, you were very clear, and my listening and comprehension skills are
Wow.
not very good.
Now I feel like I'm being condescended to, quite frankly.
3, 2, 1, boo.
Boo. Layton, that was the exact right move.
Okay, I'm really glad.
You just got booed by 2 dudes.
That was really scary. What was scary was watching the friendship break down between 2 people who were very close to me.
Well, there's no coming back from this. Okay, I'm closing the Alpha Dog Wikipedia page, and I am loading what streaming service, Layton? What are we watching today?
That is a good question. So our 2 options, they're 2 different vibes. They're both bad 2000s. They're in fact 1 year apart. One is from 2005. One is from 2006. The 2005 one is 1 hour and 23 minutes. The 2006 one,
Is that the title?
hold on, is 1 hour and 25 minutes.
Okay.
The 2006 1 hour 25 is available to rent on Amazon Prime for $4.29.
I'm already not on board, but continue.
The other movie from 2005 is available to rent for $3.99. So I'd just
They're
like to point out
both rentals.
that they are both rentals. One is 3 minutes shorter than the other and like 30 cents cheaper.
Yeah, nothing about that description was particularly fun.
Brian, I'm trying to take some of your ethos that you bring towards this show of
I have
really making it painful.
idea what you're talking about.
Making it painful
all.
and tedious for other people to exist in this
What?
comedic space.
No, wait.
With your
Legitimately,
actively hostile
wait, hold on.
approach.
Just take a step back just for 1 second here. What are you talking about? I really don't know.
Brian, I just want to cut in real quick to say that I
Yes,
think
please,
Clayton is
Jory.
being very inconsiderate.
Thank you. I thought so too, quite frankly.
Jory, can't you like be on my side for once, like even as a joke?
I think Jory is not on anyone's side. He just goes, Layton, the arc of the moral universe is long. But it bends towards justice. And I think Jory is on the side of justice on this one.
Layton, I want you to know that I think Brian is being very inconsiderate.
Thank you.
Go fuck yourself, Jory.
Now that's a man who listens to women, Brian.
Listen to women like you wouldn't believe. Listen to so many women.
I'm an ally, and that's no lie. Because on the sly,
Oh, he's doing his slam poetry.
it's pretty fly
For a white guy. Thank you. Yes. Boom.
The
You did it.
offspring.
I just want you to know, Layton, I listen to so many women. I listen to women who don't even know I'm listening to them.
Yeah, name 5 women you listen to today.
Today, let's see. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Elizabeth Hasselbeck, Meghan McCain, and Barbara Bush. R.I.P.
Now that's spoopy.
I saw a patch on Etsy today that was the shape of a headstone, and it said Ronald Reagan's grave is a gender-neutral restroom.
Wow.
That's pretty fun.
And I thought that was pretty funny.
That is fun.
But it was also like, do you want the most obnoxious people in the world to start conversations with you because of that patch? And the last thing I want is for the most obnoxious people in the world, which And to be clear, the obnoxious ones I'm talking about are people who would be offended by that.
Can we watch a movie?
No, I was too busy telling you about the 2 different movies that we're
I'll take the
maybe
cheaper
going
one.
to watch.
I don't care how long it is.
Great, then we're watching the Amityville Horror remake starring
Great.
Ryan Reynolds.
All right, where can I get this?
I literally already told you, but since you don't listen to women,
I don't know which one that
Bush,
was. No, you're look. I knew Barbara Bush, and you're no Barbara Bush.
Thank God. The Amityville Horror 2005, starring Ryan Reynolds.
Okay. Yep.
And I just want you to know that the movie that you didn't pick was the movie that if you die in the game, you die for real comes from. So that's on you.
Oh, okay.
Stay Alive, starring Frankie Muniz, star of My Dog Skip.
And there's Jimmy Simpson.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Okay. I'm going to rent this Amityville Horror thing.
Yeah, we're all looking at a shirtless Ryan Reynolds and a girl on the ceiling.
I'm just on Amazon Prime ready to rent. Actually, let me click on more purchase options and see what those are. This is interesting.
Get it on the Laserdisc.
Okay. You can rent HD for $3.99 or SD for also $3.99. Why would I rent SD? All right. Rent HD. I definitely don't want to buy this, even though it's only $1 more.
Yeah, that's really how they get you.
Okay. Rent the Amityville Horror HD $3.99. Yep. Continue.
Brian, have you seen any of the
And
previous Amityville
didn't.
horrors?
I've seen clips from the original. You know, I know the deal, but
I really want to have this conversation. Can I interrupt real quick? Because I prefer to give my money to the nameless and faceless billionaires who run Google rather than giving my money to the very face-based man, Jeff Bezos.
oh, he's so hot.
So I'm on YouTube, and I opened up the YouTube search bar to type in the Amityville Horror so I can rent the movie. And can I read for you because it shows your search history.
Oh, yes, please, Jory.
All right, so here we go. In order from furthest away to most recent. After Hours movie.
Oh, yes, please.
Matt McMuscles, who recently did a playthrough of the video game I directed, Homebody, on his channel. Leprechaun 3 Deaths.
Nice.
Garbage Day, as a reference to the iconic death from Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. Asia, Steely Dan.
Okay, good.
Saw X Deaths, hoping to find spoiler deaths for a movie that has not been released on digital yet. This Succulent Chinese Meal, as a reference to the iconic video of an English man being arrested. Loki McDonald's. I think I heard that there's an 80s McDonald's in the new season of Loki, and I'm not going to watch the show, but I wanted to see the set dressing for the McDonald's. It's pretty cool.
Great.
Leprechaun in Space.
Oh, that's, yeah, okay. I was going to ask.
Doubling down.
Is it Leprechaun 3, Leprechaun in the Hood?
No, that is actually the 4th entry in the canon.
Okay.
In which I forget the rhyming couplet, but Warwick Davis's Leprechaun character does utter the words, "Because you know the Lep is the real OG."
Oh, my God.
So there you go. Anyway, carry on.
Did you see the Warwick Davis news that was making the rounds in the last day or so?
No, what type of news?
He's hashtag embarrassed that you can't stream the new Willow series on Disney Plus anymore.
That is pretty hashtag shameful.
Yeah. And the headlines were like, Disney embarrasses Warwick Davis. And really what he did was he posted this thing and then put at the end, hashtag embarrassed.
Well, it would be great if there was some kind of organization of labor that could be done in order to protect the rights of actors and writers as associated with the so-called new media that have been the standard for streaming services and execs for the past 15 years.
Too bad
so if there was
there is not.
You're right. I feel like an idiot for suggesting it. I have seen the original Amityville Horror, and I don't think it's a particularly strong or interesting movie, but I think it's well made and it's got good performances in it.
I think that this movie is not a direct remake of the movie you're talking about. It's like sort of a remake and also based on a novel. It's just not good. This movie gave me my first ever panic attack.
Oh, no. I forgot where Amityville is.
Wait,
How
where
could
is
you
it?
have possibly forgotten?
It's in Long Island.
Oh, I forgot it was in Long Island. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Long Island, a place about which I know literally nothing other
Well,
than jokes
Jory,
from
allow
podcasts.
me to fucking educate you.
Oh, God.
Okay. What's the worst place you know?
I said jokes from podcasts, not pedantry from podcasts.
Pedantry?
Pedantry?
I peed in a tree once.
Who's
About
being
5
No, you
minutes
pedant
did
ago.
now?
not.
Yeah. Who's being pedantic? I think it's pedantry, isn't it? I don't know.
You can
Oh,
be
my
right
God.
and still a pet.
Yeah. What I do in the privacy of my own home is my business.
You know, they remodeled the Amityville house that's in Long Island, but instead of vowels, it's asterisks. If that makes you feel any better, Brian, in the way that I'm saying the words Long Island.
Sure. Yep. Great.
Just
Yep.
pretend that they're asterisks so you can see that it's the word Long Island, but you don't actually have to read the word Long Island.
Honestly, if it's 4 followed by 6 asterisks, I assume it's Long Island.
Okay, so I ended up on dictionary.cambridge.org looking up the
Cambridge?
pronunciation.
Wait, did you say Cambridge?
he does think he's better than us.
What an asshole.
You motherfuckers. Okay, so they have 2 pronunciations, all right? They have a US pronunciation and a UK pronunciation, and I'm going to
Okay.
do my impression of both, okay?
Are you listening to these or just reading the IPA?
I am going to do my vocal impersonation of both of these 2 audio files that I just heard. Here we go. So here's the US pronunciation. Pedantry. And here's the UK pronunciation. Pedantry.
So there's not a long E to be found.
Dre, I think you did a really good job.
I do too, actually.
Leighton, that's so nice. Thank you. Now let's move on from how cruel Brian has been.
Can I show you my favorite text-to-speech on mw.com?
No.
I'm going
Yeah,
to.
you can. Do it.
So wait, we actually have an issue with using the Cambridge dictionary over the Merriam-Webster dictionary?
Cambridge? What are we doing, Jory?
It was the first Google result. I don't know what you want from me.
It's Cambridge.
supposed to
Cambridge,
scroll
Cambridge,
down?
Cambridge, Cambridge.
To find Merriam-Webster?
It's not that you're using Cambridge, as you say, versus Merriam-Webster. It's that you're calling it Cambridge instead of Cambridge. The river is the Cam, but the city is Cambridge.
See, Jory, he really does think he's better than us.
I'm pretentious for not knowing any of this shit?
Leighton, I would rephrase, I know I'm better than you. Here, listen to this. Hold on. Just listen to
Reasonable.
this. Give me a second.
Capri pants.
I'll play it again.
Capri pants.
A pre-pants?
Capri pants.
Fuck that.
Play it again.
Capri pants.
I think it's saying Yanny.
Hold on. I promise this is a good one.
You have all this bookmarked?
No.
It's the only thing on his
Here we
computer.
go. Ready? There's 2 pronunciations.
Argy bargy.
Or
Argy bargy.
I think Argy Bargy is objectively funnier.
I was ready to try to keep the bit of being frustrated with this going, and it brought me so much actual joy to listen to.
oh, I love Argy Bargy. Let's watch this movie. I'm tired of all the time you're wasting.
This has gotten so hostile.
Am I? Yeah, I was about to say, is this being especially snipey tonight?
I think it's
Is it because
fine.
of the late hour?
It is.
Well, no, it's because I think all of us individually each feel ganged up on somehow.
Well, as a white man, I feel like I'm in the minority.
It's like that triangle that's like you can have it fast, cheap,
Fast,
or
cheap,
good.
or good. Yeah.
Except the triangle says eat shit, fuckers. On the 3 points.
Yeah, well, Brian's obviously eat shit, and I'm shit fuckers.
The 3 options were eat, shit, and fuckers.
Well, if you hire me for something, you'll get it slow, bad, and expensive.
One might say that our dynamic tonight, that life might be in our hands and death on our minds.
Mm-hmm.
It explodes like 12 sticks of dynamite.
Jory, that's from the 12 Angry Men. poster, but you wouldn't know that, you uncultured heathen.
Wow, have you guys seen the Criterion cover for 12 Angry Men? It's fucking gorgeous. I know though this is the third time we've talked about fucking 12 Angry Men, a movie I didn't even like go that crazy about.
Yeah.
This is like the third time in the past.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
What can I say? It explodes like 12 sticks of dynamite.
12 dicks of dynamite.
12 Angry Men doesn't pass the Bechdel test. All right, the thing that I was building up to say before tensions broke out was that we're talking over this entire movie, right?
Mr.
Yeah, I
Wecht,
think so.
tear down this wall.
Doctor, thank you though.
Fuck.
Every single week I want to call Brian Mr. Brian Wecht, and I physically have to restrain myself.
Well, I was doing a Ronnie Reagan impression. It was very funny, by the way.
I thought it was great, Jory.
He iconically said Mr. Gorbachev. So that was the move I was doing.
We all got it.
I'm trying to defend my decision. I didn't want to
I thought it was,
diminish.
Jory, I thought it was very funny. What I should have done is acknowledge that, and then I was moving one step further.
We're all so on edge now about we're trying so hard to make it seem like this isn't hostile.
Have I told you guys the whale joke?
All right, 3, 2.
Okay.
No.
Whoa.
Hold on. We have things to talk about here before we get into this. That was really...
Okay.
I think we're trying to talk about de-escalation tactics here, especially two men who say that they listen to women and the woman's trying to tell them something about the movie that we're about to watch, which is that Jory and I have been listening to a lot with Gorley and Russ. Oh my God, how does your wife do it?
I'm not married.
Wait, has it all been a lie?
Well, it depends who you ask. We have an open marriage from Thursday through Sunday.
Is this something we need to stop the record to talk about? Or?
No, it's Wednesday.
Okay.
I feel like I've been trying to say the same thing for 10 goddamn minutes. Jory and I listen to a lot of the podcasts with Gorley and Rust, which has a Patreon where they do commentaries of the movies that they talk about. I have been greatly enjoying the commentaries that they've put out, and I have not listened to a single one of them with the movie on, as I imagine is likely the case for most people listening to this episode on either the public or the premium luxury, patreon.com/late night, where you can give us money to hear more of this terrible podcast, which I would strongly advise against. But they talk very consistently through the commentaries. There's like very little dead air. I want to keep that up, especially because it's late. And
tonight.
Carry on. Leighton, you can keep going.
I was so momentarily moved by that sentiment and delivery. I just had to genuflect for a moment. Anyway, yeah, I just think this movie's a pile of shit and we should talk the whole time.
You've seen it already.
The last time I saw it, I was probably, I don't even remember. I just remember my traumatic first experience watching it.
So when you were 8, when this movie came out, right? And you saw it in the theaters.
No, I did not see it in the theaters.
Okay, that's good.
I saw it on my couch because my mom wanted to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So we did. And then I had my first panic attack. And I'll point out to you the moment that did it. There's a jump scare. And it's, I have seen the jump scare since, so I think this will be very funny.
Okay.
Jory, have you seen this movie?
I've been trying to get my phone to pronounce. There, it finally happened right as I spoke.
Do it again.
Genuflect.
You got it. Nailed
That
it.
was great.
Thank you.
I have seen both the original version and the 2005 remake starring billionaire Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Great. Well,
we probably should start the movie and then just talk about both movies.
yeah. I also want to make sure that we, at least to give some semblance of where we are in the film, I would like to periodically just say, like, we're here and this is what's happening.
You mean with runtime? Like where we are?
Like just hovering over or saying like what we're seeing. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Because anybody who watches this movie and does the commentary at the same time You're a true
Crime.
I can't say words and record at the same time.
Same try.
Why is that so funny?
I like that both of you find it very funny because I do not find it funny at all. And I'm thrilled that both of you are
Jory's reaction
cracking
to
up
that is
about
like
it.
making me fucking cry.
It's really great.
Let's
All right,
fucking-
are we all ready? Ready on this?
Please tell me this isn't going to be another 3, 2, 1 boo situation.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to count down
Okay.
to the countdown. So
No.
I'm going to
Okay.
count down.
No.
I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and when I get to the end, that's when the
Oh.
countdown starts. Okay, ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. The countdown to the movie will start from 10.
All right.
So I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1 to the countdown, and then I'll start counting down from 10, and then it'll be at the end of that, it'll be 3, 2, 1 play, and that's when we play the movie.
Brian, do you hear that sound?
I don't listen to other people.
It's the sound of us losing money because people are actively
know.
refunding their subscriptions.
People hate
All
comedy.
2 of them.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
4,
2,
7.
15,
7.
16.
Now I have to start over.
Negative
I lost my
5.
place. Sorry.
Were you
3,
doing digits of pi there for a
2,
minute, Brian?
Not that I know of, but yeah, probably they're in there somewhere. 3, 2,
Fibonacci
1,
sequence?
10,
This is awful.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
It's in the
4. Oh, now I have to start over. Why did you talk in the middle of this, Jory? Don't talk during the countdown.
Nobody thinks this is funny.
3,
in the genuine
2,
interest of trying to keep things going. I've
1.
been trying to remain silent and respectful of this bit.
Yeah, fucking right, Jory.
3, 2.
Hold on.
Yes. Yes, sorry. Thank you. Yes, is a good time for questions before I really get
What's
into
this hostility about?
it. That's a good question. Do we want to unpack that
Are
before
you
the movie
accusing
starts?
the woman in the call of being hysterical?
I'm not saying anything.
Unreasonable.
I'm just trying to
You-
count down into this movie, folks. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 10,
Don't fuck
9,
off.
8, 7, 6,
So right about now,
5,
you're probably seeing
4,
the
3,
iconic Metro Goldwyn
2,
Mayer logo
1.
with the roaring lion.
play.
Brian, how do you feel about video games?
I hate them. I refuse to play them, and I don't like people who make them.
Noted. How do you feel about our friend Jory, who, listen to him on this episode, doesn't he think he's better than us?
Look, Jory thinks he's better than us because he is better than
And
us.
he's
I
right.
have to be fully honest about this. He does, but he should.
Yeah, he's completely well within his rights. And in the spirit of being better than us, I just wanted to share that the
game you made with Jory.
The game that I made with Jory that I'm here to promote is on
Home
sale.
booty.
Don't do that.
Boo. Because it's Halloween. Boo.
This is why we never do this in person. All right. So, Homebody is a survival horror puzzle game that has a lot of heart and jokes in it. So, if you liked our previous game, Dream Daddy, and you like horror, you might enjoy this one.
I think you will enjoy this one.
Thank you. Even better, it is now 50% off on sale. There's a Steam Halloween sale that goes from
Terrifying.
October 26th to November 3rd. So if you buy the game during that time, it's discounted by 50%.
And where is that? That's on Steam or what?
That's on Steam, Xbox, Switch, PlayStation.
One of those is fake. Which one? You'll never know.
Yeah, the game is so good, it's scary. Esquire just said that we were one of the top 30 games of the year.
Wow.
So,
And how many games came out this year? 28?
yeah.
No, it's a legitimately good game. I loved it. I love playing it. I think it's incredible and that everybody should buy it. Even if they don't play it. Just buy it.
Exactly. Please support Jory because he deserves it.
Yeah.
And we're really proud of it. So
Yep.
check out Homebody. And, if you get invited to go watch a meteor shower with your friends at a creepy old house, say no.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that. And also, Now, look, we're watching the movie now in the episode. Go to Patreon to find that. But don't. Here's what you should do. You should go buy Homebody first, then go to the Patreon, and then watch the movie with us. But
if you have to choose between Homebody and the Late Night Patreon, your money is drastically better spent on Homebody.
I actually agree with that. Yes,
yeah, especially
100%.
because of how bad this Amityville horror movie is. Like, I really can't stress enough what a miserable experience it is. So, we're really good at promoting
That's
our
it.
Patreon.
It's more fun if you call it a Meatyville horror. And they live in a town called Meatyville. It's where Super Meat Boy is from. I gotta go. Okay, bye everybody.
This has to stop.
Wow, this movie sucked way worse than I thought it did.
It was just
Yeah, and it's
I'm turning this off. I'm done.
I knew that the jump scare that gave me my baby's first panic attack was going to be incredibly minor, and it's very funny to me how minor it was, and I think it says something really interesting
barely
about
even
like
registers as a
I know
jump scare.
the things that really like change for you as you grow older and experience more stuff, and like boy, I don't bat an eye at shit anymore. But I think it's like a tolerance that you do build up, and it's like a muscle. You got to use it. Like, I think that's interesting. Anyway, I went on Does the Dog Die before this movie, which is what I always do before I watch a horror movie, because I think that the aims of the website are very good, and they provide an incredibly useful and very granular service for people who are otherwise kind of wandering into the dark, especially with genre movies that contain a lot of triggering topics. I think it can be a very helpful website in that respect.
That's a generous read.
Thank you. That being said, I think that the way people answer the checklist of questions on this website is consistently very funny to me. Because I'll go on there and I'll sort by the checklists of like, is somebody possessed in this movie? And the answer is yes. You can see a list of the movies. So I'll do that for like, things that are not good and be like, oh, interesting. This is a good recommendation list. Anyway, for this movie, there was one that says, does someone have a seizure? 10 votes for yes. Someone commenting, towards the end, the main male starts to move violently as he rejects the evil.
And like the way that a lot of people are triggered by, witnessing an animal in pain and things like that. Mm-hmm. For me, when a main male moves in any way that isn't placid and calm, I just fucking lose it. So thank you for editing out all of the audio of me panicking while we were watching those scenes.
Yeah. One of my favorite things about the website is when people will like kind of misinterpret the question to get it to fit a thing that happens in the movie. And it's just like, what are we even talking about? I get that you're coming from a good place, but I don't even know what we're doing here anymore. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but the comments kind of work similar to like the Reddit upvote downvote system. So they're just funny interactions. I mean, God bless people who contribute to that website. I think it is genuinely providing a great service. It's just they are sometimes funny as they are doing it on accident.
Yeah.
Anyway, fellas, movie of the year. Wasn't that great?
It's very good.
So much worse than I was expecting.
I was trying to remember movies that I saw in theaters that I was scared of. Because I saw this in theaters, and I remember being so completely bored and miserable at the experience of it. Yeah. And I had already seen the original at this point. I remember that. And so the movies that I can remember being scared of up to this point were from 1999, which were the Blair Witch Project and the House on Haunted Hill remake.
Oh, sure.
With Chris Kattan.
Yeah. As the house.
Yeah. Actually very abstract, like a cool kind of like interpretive dance, like space work kind of thing. Ah! Sorry, there was just a terrifying hydrophone in the credits, and it fucked me up bad.
You still have the credits rolling?
He's committed.
Why would I have turned them off?
I turned
He's
them
a
off.
city ass. Brian, you've seen Blair Witch, right?
Yeah, I saw it in the theaters when it came out.
Okay.
Actually, I believe I was living in San Diego at the time, and my parents came to visit, and we all went to see it together.
Oh, that's sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it?
Yes, but the motion thing made me ill.
That was going to be my guess.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was suspenseful, but I had to like close my eyes for a significant portion of it. because of the movement. But yeah, I mean, did it super scare me? No, I like the mythology side of it. You know, I thought they did a great job about that. I found that interesting, especially in like what was in kind of the early days in some sense of the internet. So you could like look it up.
Yes, you're
cool.
telling me.
Yeah.
It's not like I researched a 3-part series on how Blair Witch influenced found footage. Or God, I hate myself. Anyway, if you want to listen to that, look up Late Night Deep Cuts. Jarek and I put a lot of work into it.
Well, yeah. Did I like Blair Witch? Yes, I like Blair Witch. Have I seen it since? No. Maybe like a clip here and there, but not beyond that.
I regret picking this movie so heavily. Like, this is our Halloween episode, and I picked not even fun bad. I just picked a dud.
It's fine. It was fun. Glad we watched it. And now, I mean, I won't be sleeping tonight, but
very frightening.
Very frightening. Yeah.
It's rare you get to use the word sopping, but I am sopping wet with this. So
yes, because of all the Frenching.
On that break, when I went to get water, I had to, it was after our long count in, and I literally had to like take off my sweatshirt and my leg warmers. Yes, I was wearing leg warmers and my Uggs because I was so like soaked in sweat from the stress of doing that count in.
I think it was very normal.
I don't know how we decide ultimately to break up this episode, considering the late hour and the commentary and everything. So if you're here and you didn't hear the commentary, supposedly on our Patreon, you're one of the lucky ones.
Look, I think this was fun. I'm glad we did it. It's always a pleasure spending time with the two of you. We're not done. I'm just saying. I'm not wrapping up.
Oh, that felt like a wrap up to a bit. That didn't feel like a
wrap up to a what?
No, that felt... wait, what did I say? Because what I meant to say wasn't a wrap-up. I meant to say that what Brian was doing felt like a wind-up to a bit. It didn't feel like he was wrapping up the episode.
A wind-up?
A wind-up to a what?
Yeah, a wind-up to a what? I don't understand what you're saying, Jory.
Is this a running... I'm trying to think of a running thing.
Like a marathon?
I
am not messing around with you guys. I legitimately don't understand what you're talking about, George. I'm really not kidding right now. I don't understand what you're saying.
Right.
Can you just like lay it, like explain it to me? Because I'm not trying to put you out. I'm not trying like to mess with you. I just want to understand what you're saying.
In the moment where you were starting to say that this has been fun and it was good that we did this, Leighton thought that you were trying to do kind of a summary of the experience that we've had so that you could end the episode.
Right, but I wasn't.
Yeah, I interjected to say that it didn't feel like you were trying to end the episode. It felt actually like you were starting to create a runway to a gag.
Like
that was it's too colorful. It felt like you were attempting to use filler words in order to create tension.
Well, I hold on. Filler words. I don't use filler words.
Oh, no.
I really reject the notion that I have quote unquote filler words. Everything I say is carefully considered. And I wouldn't describe anything I say as filler. I'm not saying everything is equally important, but certainly I wouldn't describe any of my spoken material as filler, as you so dismissively
Can I interject real quick? Listening to this exchange has felt like I'm the little kid who likes Kiss, and Ryan Reynolds wants me to hold the log together so we can hit it with the axe.
Am I the log in this metaphor?
Yeah. You're the kid with the log. Brian has the axe. I'm the camera. I would like to completely change the subject. It's come to my attention by the fact that he told me he was going to do it and then told me as he was doing it and told me after he did it that Jory has watched a film, Brian, that you and I both greatly enjoy.
Oh.
And that film...
It was foremost in my YouTube search history earlier on. Do you recall that conversation, Brian?
Was it After Hours?
Correct.
Anyway, so you watched After Hours because Gorley and Rust, an excellent podcast that you got me into, have come back with another season of Yuppie Nightmares, which
that's right,
is a great genre, and After Hours certainly counts. So instead of talking about the horrible shit, worthless movie we just watched, let's talk about After Hours. Because it's officially after hours. It's midnight, and I
have to go to bed pretty soon.
Well, we all do, but...
So, Jory, this is the first time you've seen After Hours.
Correct.
Arguably, or maybe not even arguably, the only Scorsese comedy. Thoughts?
I think it was a load of fun. I do think it's really interesting. I think it does something really impressive tonally, which is that the movie is... in some ways, a thriller.
Yep.
You see at least one violent murder. You're almost witness to a suicide. There's a lot of incredibly dark stuff in the movie, and yet tonally it's doing this balancing act of feeling like a dream or a nightmare in a way that somehow manages to keep things light. Like, it's a very silly movie in spite of a lot of upsetting subject matter in a way that I think is really singular. Particularly like the Safdie brothers movies that feel like they're pulled in part from After Hours, I realize in retrospect.
Yeah, I can see that. They
are comedic, but I think that you're supposed to be miserable in the tension of them in a way that I think really works. Particularly, I think in Uncut Gems, I experienced that much more as like just pure stress. Whereas like After Hours is like the thing I really enjoyed about it, at least in my viewing experience, and I'm curious how you both feel about it, is that I feel like I am having a good time, having mentioned the Safdie brothers, watching this character go through this awful thing. Like, I feel like there's a disconnect that's deliberate between the character and me as a viewer. Like, the emotional experience is, like, designed to create that remove in a way that I think is really entertaining and funny. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm fully with you on that. I think there's so much of it that's like the relatability, but part of that relatability being like not relatable in the sense that you are corporeally and actually, but relatable in that Paul feels like the ineffectual, powerless state you are in a nightmare or a dream.
Yeah.
That's like, yeah, I've emotionally been there in my dreams for decades now.
Yeah. And I think that, like, speaking of feeling ineffectual, like a feckless, miserable fucking worm, speaking as a white man who's done office work and who has, like, tried and failed to have, like, an interesting social life, I definitely see my own mediocrity reflected in Paul in a way that I think is, like, that's the thing about it that's probably the most relatable. Like, I'm not a person who would make choices that he would make, but it definitely is, like, especially at the beginning of the film, you almost feel, like, excited and proud of him for the risks that he's taking in this, like, strange experience that he's kind of opening himself up to. Like, when he meets the sculptor at the beginning of the film, who they, by the way, I just said sculptor, and in fact, they actually use the word sculptress.
Right.
Which is an insane phrasing I never would have thought of before seeing the movie. But, like, he's being so, like, kind of brave about it that it's like you almost do feel kind of impressed with him. And then he fucks everything up.
It's the Sisyphean nature of the whole thing And I think there's something about, as somebody who is not related to the beloved popular horror video game Homebody, being a homebody, we're going out at night and doing new things is like a fucking nightmare. And this movie is like, yeah, your anxiety was correct, actually.
Yeah.
And also the universe is laughing at you. But I kind of on that note of feeling ineffectual, like we talked about this the other day, but the running explicit themes of like castration throughout the movie, because it's so explicit about it in a way that I feel like so many men-oriented movies like this are like deeply insecure about the fact that they're actually about like castration fears and like fears of being like a feeble man or less of a man or something like that. And it's being hidden under like a lot of violence and machismo. And this movie is just so on its face about like, that is exactly what this movie is. Like Paul feels emasculated and ineffectual. And this is just spiraling out of control with his like worst anxieties about that becoming true.
Yeah, I'm not the best judge of this, but I was surprised reading about the movie afterwards that it was like basically an all-male creative team as far as I can tell. Because it does feel like it's very keenly observed about those like masculine fears.
Well,
yeah.
Especially compared to other Scorsese movies, right?
Yeah, it feels more aware about it. And maybe it's just because I like the movie otherwise so much, but I don't think that's quite it. But like, I think another movie I would be pissy about the way women are portrayed. I kind of love it in this movie because that's the movie. That's what the movie's about.
Mm-hmm.
His perfect mediocrity. He's good looking and he's like, you know, a little bit funny. He's got some desirable qualities.
You're talking about the character or Griffin Dunne?
Oh, I think Griffin Dunne is actually very good looking, but I mean Paul specifically, the character. That as a movie where it's a series of episodes of him meeting extremely desirable women who are extremely open to like sex and other kinds of relationships with him, and that he then like botches in various ways.
Mm-hmm.
I do think like by the time you're meeting like the Catherine O'Hara character, who's like, I think the fifth in a parade of very desirable women that he ends up with, it feels like a deliberate joke that it keeps happening. And there are so many movies where the parade of desirable women coming to meet the mediocre white male lead is not a joke. Like it is just completely taken at face value that he is entitled to this. And it's like pretty impressive that feels like a deliberate joke.
True.
Yeah, and the fact that it's like him, he is a fool for thinking there was a good ending to this. And that a series of very attractive women interested in him is like anything but a trap. Like the way that you phrased this the other day when we were talking about it. But quote, mediocre man has unbelievable sexual escapades is such a completely unobserved thing in so many men's filmographies. And I responded to that with an emoji of Marty, which is the more shameful aspect of that exchange.
I remember I saw this film when I was in high school. This is one of the like early, like, what the fuck is going on films for me. It might have actually been my first Scorsese.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, actually, I think it came out the same year as, and I hold Terry Gilliam in much less regard than I hold Martin Scorsese, but like it came out the same year as Brazil.
82, right?
85, I think.
85? Okay, I'm way off.
Yeah. And it definitely has like some of the same dreamlike white male failures, but I think Brazil as an adult is a much, much less interesting reflection on that stuff.
Yeah, I have to, I think this is a common thing. The older I get, the less I like Gilliam. He also just seems like a dickbag.
He seems like such a fucking asshole. And Scorsese seems like a pretty all right guy.
And every time he takes digs against Marvel movies, I like him more.
So
damn
great.
it.
I know. And the fact that it always makes the news because you're like, you won't believe what Martin Scorsese said about Marvel now. It's like, who fucking cares? Of course the guy doesn't like Marvel movies. And who cares? He can not like them. It is not interesting. whether he likes
are
them
you
or
writing
not.
a think piece about how Marty's movies actually aren't all that good because he said a thing you don't like about Marvel movies? Shut the fuck up. I'm exhausted with myself for even saying that sentence in that voice. Like, just fuck me.
But I was going to say that I remember seeing this and a couple other things around the same time with Griffin Dunne and thinking like he was one of my favorite comedic actors in the 80s. He had some really, really strong comedic performances. And then, I mean, he's been a steadily working actor for his entire career. Also, as you might know, Dominic Dunne's son. And I love Griffin Dunne. I think he's so charismatic, and when he does comedy, he just cracks me up. There's just something about his delivery which really gets me. I think he's very, very funny.
His deliveries are so especially funny in After Hours too.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I don't know who Dominic Dunne is.
Okay, thank you. Neither do I.
He's a journalist and a writer. I think he wrote for Vanity Fair for a while, and he covered, I believe, the OJ stuff for Vanity Fair. I think that's
no
him.
way. Look at him.
Yeah.
I would not have pegged Griffin as his son. Wow, that's wild.
Okay, interesting. I gotta look him up.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll see his face and you'll recognize him. I can't pick out where I recognize him from, but
yeah. It was a long time between my first and second viewings of this movie, probably like 15 years or something. But the bagel and cream cheese stuck with me as a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender Dorothy, of course. Just that last shot back in the office where it's like sped up or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So great.
that score, I love that score.
Oh, score is fantastic. I don't know who did it. I can't remember.
It's Howard Shore, right?
Oh, it is? Oh, that's cool.
I think so.
We should do a version where it's the Lord of the Rings score, but it's the same movie.
How do we feel about the poster?
I like it. I can't tell looking at it whether I actually was familiar with it or whether it's just like got an 80s poster trope that I had like thought a lot about, which is like a weird little head in a context that doesn't make sense.
I've always found the poster for this off-putting. It strikes me as too comedic for what the film actually is.
It looks like it's a Porky's-esque.
Yes,
like
it seems like an 80s sex comedy, which I guess it is in a sense.
I avoided it for a long time because of the poster, but after seeing the movie and having a deep love for it, I really like the poster now.
This kind of poster reminds me of Something Wild, the Melanie Griffith movie. It's not at all similar, but it's another like 80s sex comedy.
Oh, interesting. Which one? The main one that comes up when you search it?
I was going to say, is that Jeff Daniels? That's crazy.
Yes, the one with him upside down, yeah.
Yeah.
Physically turning my head upside down instead of doing the thing that all computers do, which is rotate images.
I don't know what it is. I hate 80s sex comedies. It's just
You know what other movie the poster for Something Wild made me think of immediately? What other poster it made me think of? The poster for Drop Dead Fred.
That's exactly what I was thinking! And I couldn't remember. No, you're so 100% correct.
About Drop Dead Fred?
Yes, I was thinking about Better Off Dead, and I was like, that's not it. That's not the poster.
Yeah.
Oh, Drop Dead Fred.
Oh, I love Rick Mayall. Drop Dead Fred has a lot of great stuff in it, even though as a film it's almost unwatchable.
I've never seen Drop Dead Fred.
I watched it during like my my young ones phase in high school because I was like, oh boy, this is going to be like a deconstructive clever comedy, and instead it's just a shit show.
Have we ever talked, Jory, about how in I think 7th grade at a book fair at my school they were selling Neil's Book of the Dead, like Neil from the Young Ones, and as one of my comedy books I read endlessly. As a teenager, I had Neil's Book of the Dead. And there was a whole thing about how special it was to find a white piece of shit in the forest.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have never read that book, and I really wanted to at the time because, like, I love the idea of supplementary materials for that show.
Yeah.
They were just, like, impossible to find. Aside from the fact that I was able to get a ROM of the Commodore 64 Young Ones game.
Oh, there's a game? Fuck.
And it was virtually unplayable.
Yeah.
It was a real disaster.
That's crazy.
typifying similar adventure games from the time. It was a game where you walked around, picked stuff up, and put stuff down.
Yep.
And the end goal of the game was figuring out what to pick up and put where.
Oh my
like
God.
the win state was, these objects are in these places.
That's crazy.
It's an awful game.
There were some pretty dire games
Sounds awesome.
from back then.
I
Played
love
'em
picking
all.
things up and putting them places as long as it's not a real place or real things, because in real life doing that sucks.
Similar to Brian Wecht, a lifelong grievance of, I'm sure, many, many thousands of adventure game fans, was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy game,
Oh, Jory.
where at the end, Marvin asks you for a tool,
Yep.
which is pulled from a random list of tools, and there's a very strong chance you have dropped that tool
Yep.
in a place where it is now impossible to retrieve it
Well,
at an earlier point in the game, making
that
it impossible to
sucks.
complete. I know you can put it in the thing your aunt gave you that you don't
Yeah,
know
it's
what
the thing.
it
You
is.
got to put it in the thing your aunt gave you that you don't know what it is. And that's why you put everything in that thing.
Fucked up bad.
And that way, when Marvin asks you for that at the end, you have it. So you never need to drop anything, really.
I know that now.
You just put it in that thing.
I know.
Did you figure that out on the first time that you played it, Brian?
No, that game is so hard that I didn't figure
There you go.
basically anything out. And I went straight to the Invisiclues book and got hints from that. So Infocom had this amazing series of hint books. So you have a little like marker and you could reveal clues in order of helpfulness, right? From
Wow.
vague to specific. But the cool part about it is they were funny and some of them were fake. And by revealing all the clues, you got like a fun supplementary thing for the game.
That is awesome. I'm looking at pictures. Why isn't there more of this?
They were really great. And especially for a game like Hitchhikers that already had a good sense of humor, having this thing as like more comedy material is fucking
Yeah.
awesome.
And also all the art on these other ones are amazing too.
Yep. You'd want to get them even if you knew what you were doing just because they were fun and funny.
Wow. Oh, I got to save some of these. These are just like gorgeous graphic design.
I love those Invisiclues.
I've often read about them, but I've never actually seen them. So
Yeah, I had them and I had a bunch until they got destroyed by a flood a couple of years back.
oh, that sucks.
I wonder if the water revealed any of the.
Maybe it did.
Oh, that's a lovely thought.
Yeah.
A lot of fun jokes came out of that flood. I'm sorry if that flood was a traumatic thing for you, Brian, and I'm undermining that fact. It's
Jory,
fair of me.
I'm fine, but thank you very much. I appreciate that. I have to go to bed. I'm very tired.
Yeah, me too.
I have a child
Well-
that gets up in the morning.
I watched After Hours on a plane, and I was probably just a little bit drowsy, not even close to enough that I didn't take in and retain the specifics of the movie. But definitely, I think it actually kind of complemented the movie in some ways. Because, like,
Yeah.
when an unrelated character reveals later in the movie that she has one of the plaster cream
Right.
cheese bagels, and Paul, like, throws it away in disgust and horror, it's, like, such, like, one of the most effectively dreamlike things I've ever seen in a movie. I just loved
Yeah.
it. And I maybe feel a little similar to that right now. I am disoriented.
Me too. Jory, as always, my favorite episodes are when you were here,
Aw,
even when the movie is god awful.
it was a real shit show.
So, yeah, if you watched the movie, if you didn't watch the movie at home, this is coming out right before Halloween. Put on a cute costume and go have some fun. I'm holding myself back from making a spoopy joke, and I'm just like putting it out here so neither of you put that on my home. Just, you know,
Put that on my home? What? What does
like
that
the
mean?
like the flies coming out of the grate, you know?
Right, like putting that evil on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Now I get it. All right. Well, listen, we should close this out.
12:30.
I do want, Leighton, I want you to do a sign off. So I'm going to count down to your sign off.
No.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
No.
Ready?
Happy Halloween.
3,
Happy
Guys,
Halloween.
2,
Please make
I
it
can only
stop.
assume that
One.
Happy Halloween.
the home was a segue to a plug for the game that we wrote, Homebody. Play it
Available now,
on
wherever you
anywhere
get your
play video
games.
Jarek, cut out the plug.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye. Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht, Leighton Gray, and Jarek Centeno. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at leightonnight@gmail.com.